all of the string methods here are return something. So whatever string I use as the basis for the method doesn't get changed. It just takes that, does something to it, and returns the result. The original stays the same. If I want to change the original, I have to use self-assignment to replace what's in that original container. So lower, what do you think it does?
Lowercase.
Lowercase. There you go. You guys are on top of this. This one's a little trickier. Keep your minds out of the gutter, everybody. This does not produce a naked string. This, well, it kind of does actually. It depends on what you clothe your string in. So if I have a string that looks like this, with spaces on the front and the back of it, and I say, I'm just going to go back to my self-assignment here. Keep it simple. If I say strname dot strip, okay? Sorry, I don't have any stripping music to play for you. But if I run this code, you can't really see what it does, but I can tell you what it does. It erases the spaces on the front and the back of it. So if I did this, where I'm taking some strings and I'm adding them together. So now if I don't run this, I'm going to comment that out. So now it's just going to print strname plus those strings. You can see it has the spaces here at the front and the back. But if I strip that, it takes those spaces off. What characters or what things does strip remove? Any white space character or any non-printing character. So spaces, tabs, line breaks, anything like that gets rid of it. Why is that important? Yes, question.
Would it be like when someone inputs like a name where there's like a character limit, like there's like 10 characters, but you put like 5, does it get rid of all the extra ones?
No, if there's a 10 character limit and they only input 5, it would only record 5. It wouldn't add spaces. But that's a good question. That's a solid thing to wonder about. Here is the case, and it does have to do with user input. So you're very close. Users will often put spaces in when you don't want them to, and it messes everything up. Now, what I'm going to tell you throughout this class is that in order to build a good program, the best thing you can do is expect your users to be not very smart, not very good at computers, and ignore all rules of common sense. Not that we should patronize our users or treat them like they're stupid, but we have to expect that they are going to input something poorly. You know what one of the most common problems is when people go to enter a password in a website? Is that they copy and paste that password from somewhere else because they get tired of typing it. But what often happens when they copy and paste a password? Anybody had this experience before? I bet you have. Maybe you didn't even know it. What?
It adds a space.
It adds a space. You accidentally copy a white space character. It could be a tab, it could be a space, it could be a carriage return. And guess what it does? It rejects the password, and you're like, no way. I just copied and pasted that. In fact, in one of my other classes where I have to set up a user account for some of my students, I had this happen 3 times last week with students who took the password that I sent them, copied and pasted it, and were like, this doesn't work. I copied and pasted it. It can't work. I said, just try typing it in. Because it was like 6 characters. It wasn't something you could really mess up typing it in every time it worked. And it was because they were copying and pasting space. So if I'm having users enter something into a program where I'm going to do something with it, unless I'm cool with them entering a space and that doesn't mess anything up, I want to use the strip method to take that white space out, and then I don't have to worry about them doing that particular dumb thing. Now, there are countless other dumb things I have to worry about, but we'll get to that later. So strip, the most interesting name and not as interesting of the methods. Swap case, If it's uppercase, make it lowercase. If it's lowercase, make it uppercase. Remember, each one of these has a reason for existing. Like when people add things to Python, it's not just like, hey, let's just do this for fun. Like everything has a reason. And sometimes you find out these reasons later, but swap case has a reason. And then we have replace and find, other string methods that allow you to actually find out a sequence of characters in a string or replace part of it. So here's the function reference page for strip. Again, it just takes the white space off. STR lower and upper we've covered pretty well, I think.